I have intentionally avoided speaking about Taylor Swift on this show, even though I might have had multiple occasions to do so, simply because I think any adult that spends a moment of time talking about Taylor Swift has probably wasted their life in multiple different ways, other than just when they mention Taylor Swift. But she actually has a good reason for showing up on the show today, because she is, perhaps unintentionally, proving the point that whoredom is not good. I hate to be so forward, but here's Apple News giving us some information about Taylor. Quote, "Better Than Revenge" features a new lyric as the pop star removed a line that some say was slut-shaming. The original lyric was, "She's better known for the things that she does on the mattress." However, in Taylor's version, the lyric is now, "He was a moth to the flame, she was holding the matches." Fans were not surprised by the revision, with some wishing it had not happened. Because apparently you would never want to shame a slut. Why would you ever do anything like that? Listen, progressives are so unoriginal. They just find something beautiful and they love to destroy it. So Taylor Swift actually takes a stand here and changes the lyrics about a girl who is sleeping around endlessly and claims her only talent as sleeping around. She just dares to change that verse. And of course, social media loses its mind and calls that slut shaming. Now, if this isn't an indication of how the left wing has rewired the brains of the vast majority of people, especially in Gen Z, I don't know what is. And I've tried to talk, pretty prolifically on this show about how important it is that the right voices be heard and repeated, and how important it is to speak the truth out loud. Because there are others out there who also understand this, but are doing so in a much more emphatic way than the people who actually possess a prefrontal cortex and a apprehension of basic reality. For instance, Planned Parenthood is joining the those who think that slut shaming should be forbidden. And just recently on a post, they said this, that virginity is a social construct. They go on to say that virginity comes from outdated, let's be real, patriarchal ways of thinking that hurts everyone. Now, they said this on their Twitter account. Now, let me help you interpret just a little bit. Please, pretty please. In the wake of Roe v. Wade being overturned, our bottom line is suffering. So we need you to have way more sex and way more babies out of wedlock so that you can kill them. Our bottom line is suffering. Cross-sex hormones just aren't cutting it. Well, I mean, they are cutting it. Literally, they're, that's the precursor to cutting things, but it's not cutting it financially. We need more abortions, people. Jump to. We need more of you to perform casual sex to create babies that you then get rid of, annihilate, butcher in the womb, so that we can get more people through our doors. Well, here's the question. Is virginity a puritanical, patriarchal construct? And there is really no such thing as virginity after all. Well, here's the answer. The sexual revolution apparently was replete also with continuous drug usage that these people have fried their brain. That's not the real answer. The real answer is the sexual revolution has not been good for anyone. Well, maybe except for one group. So this idea that modesty and making sure that you save sex for the union of marriage and that you don't have multiple, body counts to your name, the reason it is not just some puritanical concept, but actually is a much more transcendent and important truth, which is why, Planned Parenthood wants to destroy it, is that, first of all, there's only one group that is benefiting from the kind of sexual revolution that is not only making casual sex more common, but also changing the laws of consent or the way in which we view sex in the present. Oddly enough, the age of consent has come back under scrutiny, much to the jubilation and excitement of pedophiles. This works this way. As we're talking about transgenderism in the present, people are asking, should we lower the age of consent? And when can a child consent to have their body parts chopped off or to go under cross-sex hormones or to start binding their chest breast or tucking their junk. When does a child have the ability to kind of consent to that? So the sexual revolution has evolved into the place where now we are starting to question what consent actually looks like in the present, because after all, for the liberal, the only real mitigating principle is not morality and that which is right, but it is that which can be consented to. As long as you consent, well, then have at it. That's what freedom is actually all about. See, this is what the sexual revolution is doing to our brains. But actually, it's really just benefiting one group of people, as I already mentioned. And that group of people are sexual deviants that care about sexualizing children. And it's way more common than what you might think. So here's some stats. Adolescents aged 14 to 17 are the ones who are by far the most likely to be sexually victimized. Nearly 1 in 6 was sexually victimized in the last year. Sexual assaults are on the rise throughout the whole of the U.S. On average, state-by-state comparative analysis show that there are approximately 325,000 victims of rape and sexual assault, age 12 or older, in the U.S. every year. Now, if that's not enough to tell you that the only people who are really benefiting from the shamelessness with which we talk about sex in the present, let's talk about those who are peddling sex online. And this is from a Forbes article about the founder of OnlyFans. Quote, "What little else is known about Radvinsky is not flattering. Some 20 years ago, before the internet pornography was widely available for free, he ran a small empire of website that advertised access to illegal and hacked passwords to porn sites, including ones that were advertised as featuring underage performers. In the late 1900s, such link sites were common and were used to market not just pornography, but online gambling and other gray market activities. But Radvinsky was particularly aggressive. Looking through the Wayback Machine website, Forbes uncovered 11 such sites, all created in the late 1900s and early 2000s by Radvinsky. And in his Glenview, Illinois-based business, Cybertania, they included Password Universe, which in 2000 published a link directing web users to a site claiming to offer pedophiles more than 10,000 illegal preteen passwords. In 1999, a site called Working Passes had a link for the hottest underage hardcore containing 16-year-olds. Also in 2000, another site, Ultra Passwords, promised a link containing the best illegal teen passwords. And the hottest bestiality site on the website. The illegal age for porn actors in the U.S. is 18, while bestiality is illegal in most American states. I'd love to know which state it's not illegal in, by the way. Anyhow, the whole point of me reading all of that to you is that nobody is benefiting in society from the kind of free sex revolution of the 70s all the way up into the present. Our shamelessness around sex has simply made a culture that is way less livable. So the OnlyFans model can say what they want, and they can say that they're not hurting anybody, while the owner of OnlyFans goes around passing out passwords to bestiality sites and to pedophile porn. So if you actually care a little bit, you might care about the whoredom kind of going around our whole nation. Now, there's this great joke. Man's sitting on a plane and he's sitting next to a woman who he finds very attractive. He leans over to her and says, "Hey, you know, I'm a pretty wealthy individual. I would like to give you $11 million for you to spend the night with me." And she kind of uncomfortably sits for a moment and thinks about it. And she says, "I don't know. That kind of makes me uncomfortable. I'll think about it." And he says, "Well, how about this? How about instead of $11 million, I'll just give you $11 and you spend the night with me." And she gets all offended and she says, "How dare you? What kind of woman do you think I am? I would never." And he says, "Well, we've already established what kind of woman you are. Now we're just negotiating a price." And the reality is that our society is becoming a place of classless people, where Taylor Swift can't even change the lyric in a song to try to class the joint up a little bit without getting people all up in arms. Of course, it is not better for society, and certainly not better for women or men, to have a society where casual sex is common. So you just got done watching a small excerpt of a much larger episode. You can find the link to that full episode down below in the description of this video. So you definitely want to check that out, because if you like that clip, you'll like the much larger episode. And while you're at it, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and click that little bell to be notified when great new episodes of Indie Thinker come your way. Thanks for watching.